power than most people will ever understand. When you dream big, you give your mind something worth fighting for, something worth waking up for, something worthy of the energy, passion, and hunger that's buried inside you. Big dreams pull you forward. They drag you out of bed when your excuses try to keep you down. They demand more from you, and because of that, they make you more. The moment you allow yourself to dream beyond the limits of your current reality, you begin to activate a part of yourself that has been asleep. Your potential, your imagination, your belief, your inner fire. The problem is not that people don't have dreams. It's that they settle for dreams that are too small, too safe, too acceptable. People are conditioned to shrink, to lower their expectations, to fit into the world rather than reshape it. They let fear dictate the size of their vision. They let doubt suffocate their possibility. They let the opinions of others weigh more than the voice inside them that's begging for more. They convince themselves that dreaming big is unrealistic, irresponsible, or arrogant. But let me tell you something, the real danger is not dreaming too big and failing. The real danger is dreaming too small and succeeding. You were not designed for mediocrity. You were not built for average. You were created with the capacity to imagine things that don't exist yet, and the power to bring them into reality. Look around you. Everything you see started as a dream in someone's mind. Every skyscraper began as a sketch. Every business began as a risk. Every masterpiece began as an idea. Every champion began with a vision. The world you live in today exists because someone else was bold enough to dream bigger than their environment. Why should your life be any different? When you dream big, you give your future permission to be bigger than your present. But dreaming big isn't about fantasy. It's about clarity. It's about giving yourself permission to want more. It's about expanding your identity so that your goals aren't just desires. They become parts of who you are. Because the moment a dream becomes a part of your identity, your behavior aligns with it automatically. You don't have to force discipline. You become disciplined. You don't have to force motivation. You become motivated. You don't have to force consistency. You become consistent. Big dreams create big identities, and big identities create big actions. But here's the truth: many people don't want to face dreaming big will challenge you. It will stretch you. It will expose the excuses you've been hiding behind for years. It will force you to grow in ways that feel uncomfortable. Growth never feels good in the moment, but it always feels worth it in the end. That's why so many people avoid big dreams. They don't want the responsibility that comes with them. They want the reward, but not the requirement. They want the glory, but not the grind. They want the outcome, but not the evolution. But the universe does not reward the person who wishes. It rewards the person who becomes. Your dream does not need to be logical. It needs to be authentic. You don't need permission. You don't need approval. You don't need to justify your dream to anyone who isn't living your life. You simply need to want it badly enough that you're willing to pursue it relentlessly. Even when the path isn't clear, big dreams are not about knowing how. They are about knowing why. If your why is strong enough, your how will reveal itself as you move. Think about the last time you felt genuinely alive, excited, energized, unstoppable. That feeling didn't come from playing small. It came from possibility. It came from seeing a glimpse of what your life could become. The purpose of dreaming big is to live in that energy every single day, to move towards something that expands you, to chase a vision that makes you proud of who you become in the process. You were born with dreams for a reason. They were not random. They were not accidents. They were signals, clues pointing you toward your purpose, toward the contribution you're meant to make, toward the life you're meant to live. But dreams require courage. Dreams require faith. Dreams require action. And that's where most people fall short. They dream with their mind, but doubt with their heart. They dream at night, but deny themselves during the day. They dream when they're inspired, but quit when they're uncomfortable. But you, right now, you have a choice. You can continue living according to the limitations of your past, or you can rise into the possibility of your future. You can shrink to match your environment, or you can expand to match your destiny. You can settle for the life you have, or you can create the life you truly want. That decision begins with the size of your dream. I want you to imagine your biggest dream right now. Not the version you think is possible. Not the version your family, friends, or environment told you is realistic. I mean the real dream. The one you buried because you were afraid of failing. The one you silenced because you were afraid of being judged. The one you postponed because you were afraid of starting. Bring that dream back to life. See it vividly. Feel it deeply. Own it completely. Because that dream is the truest expression of who you can become. If your dream doesn't scare you, it's too small. Fear is not a stop sign, it's a compass. It points you toward the areas of your life where your greatest growth lies. When you feel fear, it means you've found something meaningful. It means your dream is big enough to challenge your comfort zone, big enough to stretch your identity, big enough to transform you. Fear is not your enemy. Fear is your invitation. Most people wait for the perfect moment to go after their dreams, the perfect timing, the perfect opportunity, the perfect support. But perfection is a myth. Nothing becomes perfect until after you start. Greatness doesn't come from certainty. It comes from courage. The people who achieve big dreams are not the ones with all the answers. They are the ones willing to begin without them. Dreaming big requires you to live intentionally. It requires you to be around people who elevate your standards, not people who sedate your ambition. It requires you to replace self-doubt with self-direction. It requires you to silence the voice of limitation and amplify the voice of possibility. The path to big dreams is not about doing more, it's about becoming more. Every time you choose your dream over your fear, you strengthen your identity. Every time you take action, even small action, you build momentum. And momentum is everything. Once you create momentum, your dream begins to feel inevitable. The world begins to open. Resources appear. People show up. Opportunities arise. Doors you didn't even know existed start unlocking for you. Momentum makes the impossible possible. But your dream needs more than belief. It needs commitment. Commitment is the bridge between the dream in your mind and the reality in your life. Commitment means showing up even when the motivation fades. It means doing what's required, not just what's comfortable. It means making your dream non-negotiable. When you're committed, obstacles don't stop you. They shape you. They strengthen you. They sharpen your focus. They turn you into someone capable of holding the dream you're chasing. A big dream will demand the best version of you, and that's the beauty of it. You don't pursue big dreams just to achieve them. You pursue big dreams because they force you to evolve. The dream is not the prize. The person you become is the prize. You don't get a big dream by staying who you are. You get a big dream by becoming who you are meant to be. So dream bigger than your past. Dream bigger than your mistakes. Dream bigger than your pain. Dream bigger than your circumstances. Dream bigger than your fears. Dream bigger than the limitations of the people around you. You owe it to yourself to see how far you can go, how much you can grow, how deeply you can live. Your dream is waiting for you, and the world is waiting for what your dream will create. When you decide to dream big, you ignite a force inside you that most people never tap into. You awaken a level of clarity and drive that reshapes how you walk, how you talk, how you think, how you make decisions. Something changes in your posture. Something changes in your presence. You stop negotiating with your limitations and start negotiating with your potential. You stop asking, what can I get? And start asking, who can I become? Because big dreams don't respond to small identities, they respond to powerful ones. And every day, you either reinforce the identity that limits you or the identity that liberates you. People often misunderstand big dreamers. They think dreaming big is about ego. It's not. It's about alignment with what you're capable of. Dreaming big isn't arrogance. Settling for less is the real arrogance. Settling says, I'm not willing to use the gifts I've been given. Settling says, my fear deserves more attention than my purpose. Settling says, comfort matters more than impact. Dreaming big is humility. It's acknowledging that what's inside you is far greater than the life you've been living. It's recognizing that the world needs what only you can bring. It's owning the truth that you were put here to create, not to shrink. And the moment you start moving in the direction of a dream that's bigger than your excuses, something extraordinary begins to happen. Your environment starts to shift. People who once doubted you begin to respect you, not because your dream is accomplished yet, but because your conviction is undeniable. You begin to attract people who think bigger, live bigger, believe bigger. Big energy attracts big energy. When you walk with purpose, people feel it before you say a word. When you carry a dream that lights you up, people sense it when you enter the room. You become magnetic, not because of what you've achieved, but because of who you're becoming. But dreaming big doesn't exempt you from challenges. It invites them. Every dream comes with a price, and the price is growth. You will face moments when it feels like nothing is working. You will face moments when old habits try to pull you back. You will face moments when you question yourself, your path, your strength. But these moments are not signals to quit. They are signals to rise. They are proof that you are breaking through old patterns and entering new territory. Growth feels like resistance, not because you're failing, but because you're stretching into a version of yourself you've never been before. There will be days when the world tells you your dream is too big. There will be people who cannot see beyond their own limits and try to hand those limits to you. There will be voices, sometimes your own, that try to convince you that the unknown is too risky, too overwhelming, too uncertain. But uncertainty is not the enemy. Uncertainty is the birthplace of possibility. Everything you admire today was once uncertain. Every success story began in a place of doubt. The unknown is not a void, it's a canvas. Most people dream small because small dreams don't require confrontation. They don't demand sacrifices. They don't challenge the identity you've built to stay comfortable. But small dreams produce small lives. They produce routines, not transformations. When you dare to dream big, you sign up for a journey that will ask you to shed your past layer by layer, belief by belief, habit by habit. And every layer you release brings you closer to your truth. Big dreams are not destinations, they are catalysts. They are invitations to become more alive, more courageous, more intentional than you have ever been. There's a reason your dream keeps returning to your mind, even when you try to ignore it. That's because it belongs to you. It's encoded into your spirit. And until you pursue it, there will always be a part of you that feels incomplete, a part of you that knows you were meant for more. This isn't about comparing yourself to others. It's about comparing the life you're living to the life you're capable of living. It's about asking yourself, am I honoring the potential within me? Or am I betraying it by settling? The world conditions people to think small. It tells you to be realistic. It tells you to avoid risks. It tells you to stay in your lane. But realistic is just a word people use when they've stopped believing in their own potential. Realism is often fear in disguise. And the truth is, nothing great was ever realistic. Flying wasn't realistic. Electricity wasn't realistic. The internet wasn't realistic. But someone dreamed anyway. Someone saw beyond the limitations of the present moment. Someone believed in a vision big enough to pull the impossible into reality. Why not you? Dreaming big forces you to think differently. It forces you to act differently. It forces you to show up differently. It forces you to surround yourself with people who challenge you instead of comfort you, people who see your value instead of your flaws, people who push you further instead of holding you back. Because the people around you will either fuel your dream or drain it. And you must protect your dream like it's sacred, because it is. Your dream will demand discipline. It will require you to do things others aren't willing to do, to wake up earlier, stay up later, practice longer, learn more, sacrifice comfort, detach from distractions, invest in yourself even when it's inconvenient. But discipline is not punishment. Discipline is empowerment. Discipline is the language of self-respect. When you discipline yourself for your dream, you're telling yourself, I am worth this effort. My future is worth this sacrifice. A big dream also requires patience. Not passive patience, active patience. The kind of patience where you keep showing up even when the results are invisible. The kind of patience where you trust your effort even when the evidence is not immediate. The kind of patience that understands every seed needs time to grow underground before it breaks through the surface. Just because you don't see progress doesn't mean progress isn't happening. Growth moves in silence long before it becomes visible. Your job is to stay consistent long enough to witness what your effort is capable of. And let me tell you something powerful. Big dreams don't just change your future. They change your present. They shift your energy today. They elevate your standards today. They sharpen your focus today. They give your actions meaning today. Most people drift through life with no clear direction, wondering why they feel unfulfilled. They're not lacking motivation, they're lacking vision. Without a big dream pulling you forward, you fall into habits that keep you stuck. But the moment your dream becomes clear, everything else aligns. Your priorities shift, your choices improve, your habits upgrade, your life becomes intentional. Every dreamer faces a defining moment, the moment when they decide they are done living small, the moment when they choose courage over comfort, the moment when they stop listening to the limitations of others and start listening to their own inner calling, the moment when the pain of staying the same becomes greater than the fear of change. That moment is the doorway to your future, and once you walk through it, you never go back. Dreaming big is not about selfish ambition. It's about contribution. It's about the lives you'll impact, the people you'll inspire, the changes you'll create, the legacy you'll leave. Your dream is not just for you, it's for everyone who will be transformed because you had the courage to pursue it. Think about that. When you shrink your dream, you shrink your impact. When you silence your vision, you silence the possibility of helping others. When you hold back your potential, you hold back the ripple effect your life could create. You might think your dream is too big for someone like you, but the truth is, your dream was given to you because you are the one capable of bringing it to life. You are the one with the experiences, the perspective, the talent, the pain, the passion required to make it real. Your dream chose you. Now you must choose it back. There will be moments when the weight of your dream feels heavy. There will be moments when progress feels slow. There will be moments when you wonder if you're capable. And in those moments, you must remind yourself why you started. You must reconnect with the vision that lit your soul on fire in the beginning. You must remember the version of yourself who knew you were meant for more. Because that part of you never left, you just stopped listening. If you stay committed long enough, something miraculous happens. Your dream begins to fit you. The identity that once felt too big begins to feel natural. The behaviors that once felt uncomfortable become automatic. The challenges that once intimidated you become manageable. You evolve into the version of yourself who is capable of holding the dream. And that's the moment everything shifts. Your dream no longer feels distant, it feels inevitable. And that inevitability comes from one thing: alignment. When your vision aligns with your habits, when your purpose aligns with your actions, when your belief aligns with your behavior, there is nothing you cannot achieve. The universe responds to alignment. Opportunities expand. Energy increases. Synchronicities appear. Doors open. You become unstoppable, not because you're lucky, but because you're intentional. The question is not whether your dream is possible. The question is whether you are willing to grow into the person who can achieve it. Because big dreams are achieved by big identities built through daily choices, daily discipline, daily faith. You must decide over and over again that your future deserves more devotion than your excuses. Your dream is waiting for you to step into the version of yourself who can carry it. And the world is waiting for what your dream will bring.